if you ask me roughly how many minutes I need to finish reading, including draft for your answer, supposed to be this one, supposed to be reading plus draft, supposed to be roughly the max 7 minutes, maybe 7 to 8 minutes. You need to like spend about 7 to 8 minutes, right? Normally in the question, because this question not considered as a long question, because how many marks here? 18 marks. Okay, so 18 marks. So normally, if you ask for my advice, roughly 7 to 8 minutes. So roughly 4 minutes for you to read through the whole thing here. Then after that, remember, because normally in the class I will highlight to you, when you read through the question, when I ask you to read through the question, it's not like reading like a storybook only. If you just read like storybook, right, at the end of the day, I'm sure that after you finish reading all the questions here, for sure you will come back and tell me that you don't know what is the question talking about. So remember, when you read through the questions, right, you have to know that which part is related to you. In simple means that you have to know that what is the requirement for the question first, so that you can pick out those related to you. And then because all these points are going to help you to answer the question later. Is that clear? So that's why remember this part is important. So not only like read like a storybook. If you just read like a storybook, I can tell you at the end of the day, you cannot pick up anything to answer the questions here. Is that clear? So that's why you need to make sure that you read through the question and then with the skill. Is that clear? So I got a lot of students I can share with you. It's like they always tell me after they read through the question, right, they'll feel like, okay, noted with the story. And now it's like how I'm going to answer the questions. So you feel blurred how to answer the question, right? How to apply what you learn in the class, and then how to put your knowledge in the questions, right? This is the common so-called like common failure. I can mention it's common failure by all the ACCS students. This is not only your problem only. So that's why remember, especially first few times when you run through the question, right, you don't even know where to start, how to start. Okay, you are very super normal. That's why I need to guide you through. Is that clear? Okay, so now when you read through the question, remember, when you read through the question, how to read through everything in detail, the first thing you have to come to the requirement first. The requirement in simple means that you have to look at what your examiner expect you to do. So you have to highlight those important parts. So you can highlight for this part now, the requirement. The requirement is you have to prepare a report. So later on, remember, your answer, you need to give me in report format. So how the report format look like? Definitely, this is your report format look like. You need to give me a title, report on something. 2, you need to send to someone, right, your report. And then from who is the one to prepare for the report? Normally it's you yourself. Is that clear? And then actually you still got one more. You need to give me date. The date for the report, when you prepare for the report. Okay, so you need to come out the format, definitely. Why simple? Because your examiner asked you to prepare a report already. Even though this is a brief report, it's still a report. Is that clear? Okay, so now continue. And you need to send this report to the company HR director and explain why the changes of the leadership style here for ARC, for this company, was unsuccessful. So in simple means that you have to tell me why. It's like later on in the story, you can see that actually we talk about the leadership style. The leader, Suli, is actually trying to change from one method to the other method. Then in these questions here, you have to understand why. You have to think of like the reason. Based on the story given, think of the reason why Suli, even though Suli changed for the leadership style already, but the changes here is considered as unsuccessful. Why? What is the reason? Is that clear? So that's why you need to explain here. Altogether, 50 marks. Okay, then after that, okay, not only this part, you need to give me and whether this reflect a poor approach for the company or not. So in simple means that you have to mention that because actually Suli, why change for the leadership style? Because of Suli realized that after Suli attend the management training program. So can you come up with a conclusion? Since Suli, the change style for Suli here is unsuccessful, do you think that this approach considered as, this training program is considered as a failure? So yes or no, you have to tell me why later. So again, if you ask me, is there any so-called like standard answer for this part? The answer is like no. Depends on how you justify, how you argue. So you can see that it's like for the whole 50 marks questions here, your examiner won't tell you directly what you need to do. So everything is asking for your opinion. Why? So some of you maybe you tell me that okay, it's not considered as a failure. Okay, then you need to justify why also. And then if you tell me that yes, it's considered as a failure, you need to tell me why also. But in this question, quite obvious that it's really unsuccessful already. Okay, so altogether 50 marks here. So you need to give me 50 marks for the technical marks, and then you still got 3 more marks for the professional skill mark. So remember, these are the things that I mentioned. I highlighted to all of you in the first class, the importance of professional marks. Remember, for the whole SBL paper, 20% will become from your professional marks. So your professional marks here, you need to show me on this round, you need to demonstrate your commercial acumen. So what do you mean by commercial acumen? Remember, you need to show me on, in simple, your common sense. Your common sense or your so-called like your knowledge, your awareness on the company. What is the company doing now? That's why cause this failure. Okay, so altogether 3 marks here. So total sum out, you can see 18 marks. So this is how your exam question can test you. But remember, exam question, definitely, I'm sure something. Is it possible this question come out? Possible. But is it possible that your question as short as this one? Impossible. For your exam, I can tell you, like what I mentioned, your exam question, the case study, right, will be roughly 12 to 18 pages. So depends on your luck lah. So if your luck is not good on that particular sitting, then you will have like 18 or maybe 16 pages of the question paper. But if your luck is very good, then your marker treat you kind. Your examiner treat you kind. Then treat you very. It's like handle all of you with care. Then after that, your examiner will test you like roughly 12 pages lah. So depends on how long is the questions lah. So that's why imagine in the exam, right, if you don't know the skill on how you go for the readings, right, if you don't know the skill on how to pick out the keywords, right, I can tell you at the end of the day, after you read through, like you spend about 1 hour to read through the whole question, at the end of the day, you cannot extract anything. Is that clear? So that's why the reading skill, the answering skill, and then including like how you draft for your answer. So that's why normally when you read through the question, right, I won't advise you to read through just like a storybooks. If you just read through like a storybook, at the end of the day, you are going to ask me, where is the keywords? Is that clear? So that's why you can see normally I will advise you to get ready, stand by with your highlighter, and read through everything here and highlight. You need to highlight those related points. Okay, so now ready? Okay, let's see. For this part here, for 18 marks here, remember this is the requirement. So later on, you need to pick out the point, the factor to cause the unsuccessful. So when you see the point, right, you need to quickly highlight and then drop the notes at the side. So I will show you on how to answer the question now. So now come back to the questions now. You can highlight now. Okay, so I hope your point will be similar with my point. So the moment you read through the question, because I did mention that you have to read through the 2 questions before you come and see me today, right? I hope you have done. So for those you haven't read through, I cannot read through together with you here. You cannot expect that I read through together with you for the question here. Because if I read through together with you here, you know that I'm sure that half an hour later, you fall asleep already. Okay, so you know how to do the reading, right? Don't skip me, Okay, so after you read through, then most important is highlight. Highlight those important part now. These are the point that I want to bring it out to the marker later. So that's why you can see I highlighted as the important part. I want to bring all this out. So imagine that if you don't want to highlight, right, later on, after you read through the whole story, then after that, the moment when you want to answer the question, you come back again, and then can you imagine everything here is empty, and then without any highlighting, and then you need to read through again, and then to pick up the point to discuss with your marker. Can you imagine if you do it in this way, you waste for a lot of time already. Is that clear? So that's why some students always ask me, how come my friends can read for so fast in the exam hall, but I read very slow. My reading is very slow in the exam hall. This is something so-called talk about the skill of reading. Okay, so that's why from today onwards, but you still got time because your exam, if some of you I'm sure that some of you will be going for December exam. So for those you go for December exam, you still got few more months to go. And then for those you are going to go for March exam, definitely you got more time to practice. So your reading skill, okay. So now you read through the whole thing here, and then you can see first paragraph. What I pick out is you can see those I highlighted with you. I try to guide you through. And then remember, when you pick out the point, right, I'm just not like just highlight on it. Is that clear? After you highlight, you have to know that later on what you want to bring out. Is that clear? So why I highlight for first paragraph here? Basically, the whole first paragraph here talking about the old Suli. Am I right? We are talking about Suli now. Suli is the leader of the company now for ARC. And then Suli, you found that, okay, previously, the old Suli, before he tried to attend for the training, actually you found that Suli is like implemented with the very tight and means process for operating and monitoring. So means that Suli is very tight with the control. So it means that everything is under Suli. Suli is like trying to cover everything, and then without so-called like without going further. So in simple means that without giving any freedom for the staff to go further. So in simple means that Suli control everything. So you can see that Suli previously, the old Suli is more on autocratic stuff. So, and then you can see Suli has sole responsible, from the keyword sole responsibility. You can see that it's like Suli is very, in simple means that in this company, only Suli can make the decisions. The rest of the people you just follow. So you can see it's really like more on like army style, remember the command style. Okay, then after that you can see because according to Suli, why Suli implement with this method, right? Because in Suli mindset, right, worker is like naturally lazy. Worker are naturally lazy. And then worker are always lack of initiative. So this is according to Suli Suli mindset Suli always treat that worker is always naturally lazy and worker is always like lack of initiative. They don't have the so-called like they won't like take out the responsibility like automatically. They will only like just follow. So for Suli, I mean this is the perceptions of Suli. Okay, then that's why Suli apply autocratic style. So these are the things that you can bring out later. So you have to know that what is the reason you highlight all these. Otherwise, you found that all the point here, it seems like all are considered as okay. So that's why what you're going to do is you will highlight the whole page for me already. Is that clear? So that's why you can see what I highlight all these things, right? Later on in my story, I want to bring it up to my marker. Okay, so remember, now move on, continue. And then the next part you can highlight now. The second part, you can see the one I highlighted in pink color is actually, I'm trying to highlight to you on since when Suli start the changes. So you can see I use different color. So Suli attended the course already because it is a management directorship course. And I mentioned that actually try to advise Suli, try to change your management style. Because if you continue with this style, right, at the end of the day, you will be very busy. And then your staff cannot improve. Okay, so that's why Suli consider to change for the previous approach for leadership. So after the return of Suli, you can see the last one I highlighted for you here, the pink color one. On his return from the course, Suli called out for the staff meeting already. And then Suli decided the employee would have responsible to taking control action. So that's why Suli decided tell the employee, from now today onwards, all of you give the freedom to come out anything. So that's why I won't go for autocratic style anymore. So all of you, from today onwards, you have to come out your own decisions. You have to come out your own initiative to do whatever you want. So you are giving full freedom now. So this is according to the story here. Okay. Then after that, you can see what happened. These are the impact. You can see those in yellow color. You can highlight. These are the impact. Few weeks after, or maybe few months after, you found that the problem with this new arrangement too fast already, and then a lot of them suddenly it's a big changes for them. They feel like very so-called like stressful, very unsure what to do. Okay, then they feel like very tension and stress for the new approach. After that, they still mention, the employee mentioned, we prefer the old Suli back. We prefer to refer everything to Suli again. We prefer autocratic style. We don't want freedom. Okay, so you can see, you can imagine what happened, right? Then after that, you read through the whole thing. The rest is okay. The rest is just storytelling only. So you can see, normally when that's why you can imagine why your examiner can give you like roughly 12 to 18 pages question paper, right? Not like everything is relevant, It's like you have to know how to pick out those relevant part and discuss. But normally when they bring out one paragraph for you, for sure you can see something lah. Impossible they give you something for fun only. Is that clear? Okay. So now, let's start now. Okay. So it's your turn ready. I've done. I think it's enough for me to done with my talking. So it's your turn ready. Okay. So I've done my part. I explain everything to you already. So now it's your turn. When I call you, you have to explain to me on what do you think? What make the leadership style here, the changes of the leadership style here from autocratic style, suddenly Suli change to a style that give the freedom to the employee? Why is unsuccessful? You have to tell me why it's unsuccessful. So do you think that after you mention that because of this, I think it's unsuccessful. So do you think that it's actually, the unsuccessful here, the one of the factor is because of the poor training program? Or actually it's nothing to do with the training program? actually the training program is good. It's just like Suli don't know how to apply properly only. So you have to explain to me. Okay, so altogether 15 marks here. So a lot of students is going to ask me, 15 marks here, roughly, I need to come out how many points? Roughly, remember, 1 point here, roughly about, because you need to explain about the reason why and explain about whether this is affected by the training program or not. Is the training program is good or not? So roughly how many marks here is roughly 3 marks here. So 3 marks for this part, and then 15 divided with 3. So obviously 1 point, altogether how many points here? Roughly 5. Because 15 divided with 3. So divide, but some of you are going to ask me, what if this part, I got one student asked me before, I can discuss about whether the second portion here, whether the management training program is considered as poor approach or good approach. So this one, in simple means because according to the management training program here, they are the one to suggest to Suli to change the management style. So can you, in simple means that question asking you here, do you think that this is a good suggestion or bad suggestions? So this part here, some students ask me if I can explain up to 2 marks. So in simple means that 2 marks here, 2 marks here. So altogether means that 1 point is about 4 marks. So can I go for 15 divided with 4? Can. Provided you can really illustrate a lot, then you are allowed to go for 4 marks for 1 point. So 4 marks for 1 point in simple means that you need to roughly prepare roughly 3.5 points. Am I right? So you need to get ready roughly 3 to 4 points. So that's why you can see the way how you aim for the marks for in ACCA, right, in SBL, right, actually it's not only in SBL, in the rest of the ACCA paper also. The moment when you want to aim for the marks, right, you just need to focus on the 15 in total. And if you are very confident that I can explain up to 1 point, I can explain up to 4 marks, right, then at the end of the day, means that you can, you are not required to give me up to 5 points. You just need to give me up to 3 to 4 points only. But if you feel like you don't have the confidence to illustrate a lot, you want to spread out more points, right? Yes. That means that in simple, you have to give me roughly 5 points here for these questions. So in simple means that you have to point out, you need to be able to point out 5 reasons why the program here is unsuccessful. And you have to tell me that whether the suggestion by the management training program, is it considered as good or bad? So altogether sum up as 1 point. Okay, so now ready? So I need roughly 5 reasons from all of you. So today I will go for I will assume that all of you cannot illustrate a lot. So I will go for 5 points. So I will call out 5 students. You have to tell me why. Why the program here is unsuccessful, the changes here is unsuccessful. And the second thing you have to answer to me is, you have to tell me that whether this management training program, the approach that they suggest is considered as good or not good. If good, tell me why. If not good, tell me why. Okay, so now let's start. Start from Norafika.
Hello.
Yes. No. Nora.
Okay, so I think it's unsuccessful. The first reason I think it's unsuccessful is that he implemented the new strategy ad hoc. Like he didn't properly plan out how to implement the new type of leadership, and because the employees are so used to looking to him for guidance, they are unable to think for themselves. Like there hasn't been any kind of trust between Sully and his employees. So when he suddenly changed his leadership style, they feel very lost. And when they feel lost and unsure, that's when the problems start, like the stress and the conflict.
Yes, very good. Yes, I like this. Okay, so very good. Okay, the keyword you can pick up from your friend's suggestions here is the main reason the transitional period is too fast because of you are lost. Actually, it's like not the employee is lost. Actually, is you should be the one to. I mean, if you want to blame anyone here, suppose Suli is the one you need to blame. Why? Because you just go for the certain changes and then without a proper planning. And then without any proper guidance, so definitely your staff will feel like very lost. So remember next time in future, any one of you here, remember, avoid this mistake because you can be the leader of someone in future. So very good. I like your keywords. And do you mind to share with me the approach here, the suggested suggestion by the management training program here is that we have to give the freedom we need to learn to try to give the freedom to the staff. Do you think that this is a good or bad approach?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
In simple means that because according to the training program, after you attend the training program, they suggest to you, don't go for autocratic style. We try to go for so-called like go for a more freedom style. Like for example, all this while Suli handle control everything, right? So the management suggests you, why not we let the staff to do the decisions? We let the staff to participate. So do you think that this is a good approach or poor approach?
I think recommending the change of leadership is it's not done well because I think the company should have looked at how Sully's company worked first and see if a democratic style works for them, because not all companies will be suited to that kind of leadership approach. And if they were going to suggest that, I think they should have offered him some guidance and helped him through the transitional period.
Yes, very good. Yes, this can be one of the answer. Very good, thank you. You can actually, I think the rest of you can hear it clearly from your friend's explanation here. Yes, everything is very clear. Actually, I agree with you also. This approach, for me, is like, I won't blame that this approach is wrong. Maybe it's work. That's why I put in the keywords. Okay, so that's why in the exam, right? Remember, be professional. Don't mention that something is lousy, is not work. Okay, so remember, be professional. So we will bring out the point that maybe this program is really suitable for some of the other organization, but this might not be suitable for your organization. Is that clear? So that's why I won't mention that this strategy here is lousy, or this strategy here is totally cannot work at all, not effective at all. I won't mention this kind of certain words. Is that clear? So I will just bring out in a very professional way. I mentioned that yes, maybe this approach is work for the rest of the organization, but maybe this is not work for our organization. That's why I like one keywords from Norafrica is actually they should carry out some investigation or analysis first, see whether it's suitable for the organizations or not. So like what I mentioned before, remember situational approach. Is that clear? So maybe some of the strategy I know is good. Give the freedom definitely is good, but we are not going to give the freedom to everyone. Is that clear? So very good. I like it. So this is how you answer the question. You can see that you're going to ask me, whatever my friend answered just now, you keep mentioning it's very good. Okay, but where's the point from? Is it from the textbook? No, I can tell you. You can go back to later. Okay, this afternoon. Start from this afternoon. You flip through all your textbook. For SBL, I can tell you, you won't see the answer. You won't see this part. Is that clear? So what I'm trying to show to you is, you see, this is how SBL tests you. So you know the knowledge already. You know that, what is autocratic style. You know that what is the important part about leadership. This is what my lecturer highlight to me as well in the class. But you can see the question can come out something like this. So in simple means that your examiner, whatever your examiner tells you, is can be as flexible as this. Is that clear? So the way how you throw in the keywords, whatever we learn in class, is it considered as useless? No, okay. It's not really like useless, okay. But whatever we cover, the keywords, everything, if you can explain and then you can throw it in your answer, right? Indirectly, you show to your marker that I did study also. I'm not like bluffing only. You get what I mean? But for those students that really didn't attend for the class and then go straight to the exam hall for SBL, yes, they can discuss. Maybe they can discuss also, but they just discuss by using the common sense. They just discuss by using the general term. Is that clear? But they can't really like mention all these terms, okay, like for example, situational approach, okay, because they didn't cover in the class. Is that clear? So that's why this is the difference. Is that clear? Very good. Okay, so now try with the second answer. Okay, let's try with the second answer. Very good with your first, for the first answer here. Very good. Now, to show that actually you can really answer. So this is proven to all of you that you can do it. It's just like sometimes you are too reliant on your lecturer, me already. That's why normally when I throw the student to the exam hall, right, they tell me that, no, we cannot survive already, okay? You know why? So that's why I always tell my student, during the ACCA class, right, it's not easy for me to guide you. You know why? Because if for ACCA class, I felt like I'm like the teachers to teach for swimming class. You know what happened? The teacher the trainer, the coach for swimming class, normally it's like I have to teach you how to swim first. But the moment when I let you, I want to, whether your examiner want to pass you or fail you for the exam, right? Normally, I have to throw you to the swimming pool. No matter you know how to swim or you don't know how to swim, I have to throw you down to the swimming pool and then see whether you can survive or not. Is that clear? So that's why now it's like just like a swimming class. Okay, so I have to teach you how to swim one by one, step by step. Okay, then after that, the moment, like for example, December when you go for the exam, right, I will throw you into the swimming pool already. Then you have to think of the way to survive already. Is that clear? So the skill I'll pass all to each of you. Is that clear? So this is my duty as a ACCA lecturer. So you can see the way. That's why I mean the moment when during your first class, I keep highlight to all of you mentions that actually to be the lecturer for degree and to be the lecturer for ACCA class is two different issues. Okay, I can tell you it's like two different kind of like so-called in degree class. Normally, I'm just like babysitter. Is that clear? So it's like take care of all of you. Make sure that you take part in your so-called like discussion. Make sure that you take part in your assignment. Make sure that you have done with your quizzes, all these kind of thing. But for ACCA class, I'm not required to be like a babysitter. No need to take care of you. But again, what I need to do is like a training. Like a so-called like swimming coach. Is that clear? So that's why I need to train all of you to the extent that the moment when I throw all of you to the swimming pool, after swimming pool, your examiner will throw all of you to the sea already. Is that clear? So after that, but you need to show to them that I got the skill. I still can survive. Is that clear? So this is your duty. Is that clear? So that's why you keep telling me that I don't know how to do, I don't know how to answer. Okay, yes, you can do it. Is that clear? Okay, so now let's see. Continue the next one. Try with Xiao Qing.
Hi, Miss.
Yes.
I think the change of leadership style at ARC was unsuccessful because what I wrote was actually fast transitional process also lah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yes, good point. And on top of fast transitional.
On top of that, so it's because the employees they can I elaborate more about this point?
Can.
So it's because originally the AIC is under a autocratic structure.
Mm-hmm.
So when they try to transition to democratic,
Mm-hmm.
the whole culture doesn't allow for fast changes.
Okay.
Please, I'm not sure what I should say.
If you really want to elaborate more, in order to make the changes here successful, so suppose what you need to do is give them more time, am I right?
Yes, and then use other approaches. Just instead of just dropping the whole change on the employees, like maybe they can use other change management styles like education and communication, stuff like that.
Very good. Actually, I'm waiting for this part of answer here. You can see, suddenly, remember like what I mentioned before, bluff with skill, remember? So you want to bluff, okay, but you don't know how to bluff already. You keep looking around my notes, okay, where is my notes, okay, and then my notes can help me at all for this part. But actually, see, this is how your friends apply what you learn in class also. Remember, we cover the method, the approaches on how we do go for the changes, remember? As a leader, if you really want to go for the changes, we need to expect that every day we are facing with the changes. We cannot expect that every day we are doing the same thing. Every day, like 10 years after, 20 years after, we are still applying the same concept. Impossible. We can go for the changes, but like what your friends mentioned here, choose the good approaches to go for the changes. The approaches here, like for example, we go for educational style. Maybe we can go for let's say participation style. Instead of tell them, okay, today, it's like to start from tomorrow onwards, okay, I want to see all your changes, that's it. Okay, you have to guide them, right? Okay, so normally how you guide them, for example, give them training, for example, give them some workshop, for example. So, but you can see it's like for the whole story here, can you see that Suli trying to give the workshop for them? No. Can you see that Suli trying to guide them through training? No. Am I right? So that's why, yes, very good. So these are the few points that you can bring up to your marker. You can bring up to tell your marker that where is the approaches. Suli is just mentioned that tomorrow onwards, we change. That's it. After that, Suli go. I mean, it's like disappear already. But you know that this is not right. Suppose the approach, you haven't planned for the approach, how you go for the changes. Like, for example, you want to organize workshop. For example, you want to organize for seminar. Or for example, you want to go for participation. So that means that throughout the process, maybe you go for like hybrid method combination. Slowly try to guide them first, but don't straight away so-called like change for the method. Okay? So that's why very good. So on top of the speed of the changes, actually you can bring up the style, the way, the approach, how they go for the changes. Make the changes here unsuccessful. Very good. Okay, then can you share with me on this, the second question here? Xiaoqing.
I think the management training program SCAD's management training program is actually not to be blamed, but more like it's more to how Suli implement the change.
Yes, I got your point. Your answer same with my answer, but it doesn't mean that just now Norafika your answer is wrong. No, your answer I agree. I strongly agree with your answer also. So for searching ASI, that's why you can see that's why I mentioned. Okay, even though two candidates come out different answer for the for SBL, but at the end of the day, you might score with the same result. Your result will be as excellent as the rest. Is that clear? So that's why it's just like you have to come out your opinion only. Yes, agree with your answers, your thing. Actually, I personally, I think it's like nothing to blame for this program. This program, whatever they suggest, right, actually is good. I mean, it's like we should, because it's like the generation is different already, the environment is different already. So we cannot expect that we always apply this kind of autocratic style throughout the whole process. So that's why actually nothing wrong with this training program. But what I see is actually the person implement with it is something wrong only. Means that the blame should put back to Suli. Is that clear? Not on the training program. Yes, agree. And then maybe you are going to ask me, so in the exam, which one we need to go for? We should mention that this training program is poor or good. Actually, you can discuss on both sides. And then after you discuss on both sides, right, you need to be able to justify your answer. So can you combine Norafika and Xiaoqing answer together and then put it in your answer? Yes, possible. Can. So you can mention actually nothing to blame for this training program, blah, 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 like what Xiaoqing discussed just now. But however, in this case, right, same thing. For the training program, right, suppose before you give the suggestions, right, suppose you have to look at the organization. Try to understand the culture of the organization first before you come out any suggestions. See whether whatever you suggest is suitable or not. So this is continue with Norafika answer. So can you see how I play around with the answer? Very good. Okay, we try with one more. One more enough. Okay, so let's see. Because most of the point are all of you very good. Okay, it's like the moment when you bring out your answer for me, it seems like you discuss more than one point already. That's why you found that your point seems like taken by your friends. Okay, so see. We try with one more. Let's see. We try with Xiu Fen. Can you share with me? Xiu Fen?
I think it is unsuccessful is because of the speed of change was too fast, and the employees was previously lack of motivation to work and always avoid responsibility. So sudden change management style caused them to make decision. Cause more time was taken to make the decision and result in inefficiency of work. Then,
So in simple means it's similar with your two friends just now. It's like
Yeah.
the speed of the change and give them, that's why because of the speed of change, that's why give the employee a shock. So after that, that's why this is unsuccessful. I'm right.
Yes.
Agree. Then how about what do you think with the training program? Whatever they suggest, is it considered as a good approach or like poor approach?
It is considered as a good approach However, I think they should seek balance between it, not leave everything for voting, such as democratic style.
Yes, very good. Good point here. So in simple means that actually the training program is good. However, I remember, yes, I like it. Okay. So it's like you start to learn about the way how you answer the question. However, normally I like however. So that's why normally after you attend for SBL, a lot of my students are very funny. Okay. Normally when they see me around in the campus, right, when I mention something, right, they tell me however. Okay, because it's like they told me that however is your slogan already. Okay. So yes, okay, really in simple means that we look at something not only like one side. Okay, so it's like the training program actually is good. However, they should before they suggest something or that before they implement the things right, they shouldn't like let the employee to do it by their own. I mean everything. So maybe we can go for half. For those very important critical parts, suppose Suri still have to handle back. Okay, and then only for those like operating daily routine things, maybe we can let them to handle by their own. Is that clear? Very good. So in simple means that Suri can go for the changes, but not for everything. Is that clear? So that's why you won't. I mean, if you go for like half of it, like 50% of it, then at least the employee won't feel like scared of it. Is that clear? So that's why this is something very important. Very good. So this is hard you need to discuss and how you need to discuss. So remember when you discuss something, it's just like how you do the talking to me here. So you need to explain by using your own words based on the story of the question instead of throw your textbook to me. Is that clear? So remember, SBL examiner, SBL marker don't want textbook answer. Trust me. Is that clear? Okay, so no question for this one. I'm very good. So in simple means I can see that from what you answer to me, yes, you really understand how to answer the question already, and then you really can understand the storytelling here for the case study here. Is that clear? So very good. Okay, so this question, I will give you the answer later. You can see this is the answer I will send to you later. So I will give you the full answer here, but definitely you are going to ask me, wow, according to the answer here, see, okay, they still quote in McGregor term, they still talk about theory X, theory Y. Yes, but the moment when you read through, right, even though they quote in all these terms, but you later on you can try. You can try to read through the whole thing here. You found that they are trying to apply the concept, but they are not trying to explain the concept. They know that they are not required to explain the concept anymore. They will just bring out theory X and then after that just bluff on the story already. So in simple means that this is how you play with your technical knowledge from the textbook together with the case study. So this one I will send to all of you later. Then you can try to read through. And then after you read through, right, you can see that, oh, this is the way how I bring out my answer and then how I bring out my knowledge in the SBL. So you can see that, for example, they try to quote in on contingency and situational theory, like what I mentioned just now. But you can see that they won't go and define, copy whatever we so-called like in the notes for the situation and theory. They won't tell the marker on, okay, what is contingency theory? What is situational theory? You can see none of the definition here is in. But they are trying to put in. Why they want to put this in? Because of they want to highlight to the marker. Actually, before they implement the approach, right, they should look at the organization, whether it's suitable to go for this way or not. If the management style is good for other organizations, it doesn't mean that the management style can apply in Suli company. Is that clear? So this is the one your examiner expect from all of you. So actually, to answer SBL, right, not difficult. That's why I always tell my students, if you want to aim for a pass for SBL, right, not difficult at all because just a pass, 50 marks. But if you tell me that I want to aim for 80, 90, then it's a bit challenging now. Is that clear? So that's why this will be the model answer I will send to all of you later. Is that clear? No need to copy here. Okay, so now continue. Continue with the next one is this portion. The second question. The second question, same thing. I will come for the requirement first. Like what I mentioned, read for the requirement first before you read for the case study. Because once you read for the requirement, you know what is the expectations your examiner asking from you. Is that clear? So that's why I try to highlight first. Let's see. In this question here, question tests you for cultural web. But you can see from the requirement here, can you see any cultural web? I see one question here since I saw your questions now. So that's why I try to answer your question first. YJ, your question is asking can I use the definition to further support my point sometime? Yes, but don't be too frequent because honestly speaking, if you give the definition to the marker, you won't give any extra marks. even like in simple means that I always tell my students is that if you got more point to go, right, I prefer you to come out your own point instead of definition. You know why? Because if you come out the definitions, to show that actually you got study, and then to maybe in your professional marks, it look like more professional. Then your marker will give you maybe extra 0.5 marks, but it won't contribute anything to your 30 marks here. Because as Emina mentioned before, definition won't carry any marks. But if you feel like, I feel like more comfortable to define first, and then I can write fast. And then it won't take me like a long time, half an hour. So that's why I think it's good. Then okay. I mean, to show that the connections can also. Okay. So am I answering to your question, YJ? Welcome. Okay. So now see, ready? Come to this part here. See, you can see for the requirement here, even though the question tests you for cultural web, but you can see is like, can you see any cultural web here? The name of the model? No, right? That's why this is the critical part. By looking at the questions here, you have to know that I have to play with cultural web. How you know that I have to play with cultural web? By now, maybe you feel like, okay, because you just cover a few model. But after I cover chapter 2, right, you come back and tell me so many model, okay? Am I going to memorize? Oh, yes, the answer is yes. Okay, why? Because it's like, otherwise you don't know that which one you need to play with. Okay, so now see, requirement here, in order to understand the failure of I compute. So it seems like this company not doing well, because otherwise question won't mention the failure within this company. Okay, so you know that in order to understand, you need to analyze, highlight the keyword analyze, and then put the remarks there. Remember, if the question asks you to analyze the company culture, are you going to go for forward thinking? No need. Analyze means analyze the the company now. So analyze, when you see analyze, right? So in simple means that no need to go for forward looking, no need to predict what is going to be happen in future. You just tell me that analyze means that currently the company, what happened now? That's it. So remember, this is analyze. But if the question asks you to evaluate, right? I use another keyword, evaluate. Your examiner like to use either analyze or evaluate. If the question mentioned evaluate the company culture, yes, you have to roughly put in a little bit of forward thinking. Forward thinking in simple means that you have to tell me that, currently happen now. And then that's why, because of the current situation, it will affect the future like this. So you need to mention something like this. But if the question asks you to analyze only, no need. You just need to straight away tell the marker, this is the things happen now. That's it. So no need to go for forward thinking. Is that clear? So remember, analyze the company culture. So how to analyze the company culture? Definitely, you know that cultural web helping you on this part. So in simple means that you have to play with cultural web later. So and then in cultural web, remember, we have to analyze on 6, like for example, symbol, routine, and rituals, all this kind of thing. So are you going to analyze all the 6, right? Actually depends. Depends on the story here. Is the information provided? If the information not provided, right, no need. According to what I know, these questions here, power is not mentioned at all, so no need. So maybe like out of 6, you just need to analyze 4, or you just need to analyze 5. Depends on what you look at it. Is that clear? Okay, then after that, assess. You need to assess on the impact. Assess on impact in simple means that if you, because it's like currently it's a failure. So you know that failure is something not good. So if you continue with this culture now for the company, assess the impact means that how this will affect your company future performance. So in simple means that if you choose to do nothing now, let it be, then what do you think with your company future performance? Definitely it's going to be like negatively affected. It's going to be like adversely affected. But what is going to be happening? So in simple means that the second portion here, you have to tell me a little bit on if you prefer to let it be, choose to do nothing now, okay, then what you can do is, you know that your company future performance for sure will be affected. And then how it will affect it, you have to discuss. So this all together, 30 marks here. Okay, so 30 marks here in simple means that roughly you need to bring out how many points here. Again, for me, I will follow, because since I need to play with cultural web here, I'll follow the sequence of the cultural web. So you know that I need to assess on the first thing, since I need to analyze the company culture. So I'll analyze, like, for example, story, based on the story, based on the routine and riches, based on the control system. This is what I see. So cause this company a failure now. So if we still don't want to do anything to control on all this, right, then how it will affect your future performance. So you have to be able to discuss on this part. So altogether, roughly, if 3 marks, again, 3 marks for 1 point, roughly how many marks here? How many points here, sorry? How many points here? Roughly 5 points also. Because 3 marks each, right? For 1 point. So roughly, because why I put in 3 marks here, see, the logic is, if you analyze, you are able to pick up the problem now, there is around about 2 marks already. And then 1 mark is for you to discuss on how it will affect your future performance. So altogether 3 marks. So if 3 marks now, 3 marks for 1 point, then altogether 13 marks, right? So altogether roughly 4 to 5 points. Roughly. Okay, roughly. Definitely, I use the keywords of roughly. Remember, be professional. I cannot mention that, like, for example, some of the students, right? Normally they come up 4 points for me, Sonny. And then at the end of the day, let's say, for example, I still can give them full mark, 13 marks. Then they will come back and ask me, I thought have to be 5 points. Not necessary. Because of the 4 point, maybe you can illustrate really, really very good. Then your marker will consider to give you 30 marks. So that's why there's no like so-called like a standard marking scheme for SBL. Actually, it's not only for SBL. For the rest of the P paper, I can tell you, it's more on your own justification. So I can't really give you the point that, must be 5 points. No. That's why you can see in ACCA, normally they won't mention 5 times 3 equal to how many marks. No, they won't give you this kind of scheme. I know that for those you use with degree, right? Normally, your degree lecturer, when they set for the question paper, they will try to show you 6 point required and then multiply 2 marks. Total is 12 marks. No, this is a professional paper. So they will just leave it for you. I mean, you have to decide how many points you have to prepare. Okay, then your professional marks here for this question is demonstrating your analytical skill. So in simple means that your analysis skill is good, then they will consider to give you 2 marks. How to aim for analysis skill, right? You need to be able to see currently what is the problem of the organizations. Then after that, you just be able to discuss further. So that's why these are the 2 marks. So if you can pick up all the points and then you can discuss well, then your marker will give you maybe 1 out of 2 or 1.5 out of 2. So total is 15 marks. Okay, so now come back here. You can highlight those important points also. Start from the beginning of the story. You can get ready with your highlighter and highlight now. You can see, based on what I highlight for you here, the first one, what I can see is I want to bring out something is the company is actually founded 20 years ago, long time ago in simple. And then it's a technology, it's a company deal with software, hardware, all this kind of company. So it's more on technology industry. Okay, and then all this while, they are building for bespoke computer software. What do you mean by bespoke? If you can't really understand bespoke, put the remarks here. Bespoke in simple means that tailor-made. It's something customized, it's something tailor-made. So in simple means that you can imagine, you can start to your imagination already. That's why normally I always tell my students to answer your SBL question well, right? Your imagination must be very good. You need to start to imagine, this is a technology industry company. And then some more, they are producing the software now. So it means that they have to be the expert in IT. And then some more, because it's like whatever you produce now is not a general software. It's something tailor-made. That's why you can see the IT team here must be very strong with the IT background. Okay, then some more you can see, this company is actually the 3rd largest software company in the country. So it means that it's considered as big company. Not kidding, Okay, so it's like a very big company. Okay, can compete with Microsoft already. Okay, so that's why you need a little bit of imagination already. Okay, so now move on, but too bad you can see the slogan for the company is actually work hard, play hard, work ethic. So in simple means that whatever they want to focus is work hard and play hard. So it means that they want to work hard, but at the same time they want to play hard. So as a company, I won't comment anything on the slogan because you know that different company you can have the different slogan. But for me, honestly speaking, I won't come out this kind of slogan. Work hard, play hard. So this one I will discuss something in the symbol later. Because remember, company slogan is considered as under symbol. In your symbol, if you tell people that you work hard, okay lah. But if you tell people that you play hard, also not really, not like sounds like not nice and right. I'm not sure how is your impression, but this is something I want to bring out. Like if I'm the one to answer the question later, you can see that you have to be very sensitive with the keywords, right? Okay, and then some more, the employee, all the employee work in this organization expected to work for long hour and take part in all the social activity after work. Can you imagine? That's why you can see they have the difficulty in recruiting and retaining staff. And 1/3 of all the employee actually left the company already. And then some more. They have the difficulty in recruiting, retain female staff some more. What is the main reason you can think of? You tell me later. Okay, I don't want to tell you further. You tell me later. Okay, now continue. The next thing is, and then this part here is talk about the company is like having the dispute, the disagreement with the two customers. So this is story. Then after that, you can see something is important. You can highlight this one. One manager comment. Whatever we have often adopt or about to adopt is actually is something related to technology, right? And then for them, it's like the manager mentioned again, it's about and then it's often adopted and then it's about it's about to adopt. So in simple means that the manager here, you can see the way how they, how they respond to the market, right? It's not really good. Because it's like now it's like some customer is like start to criticize the company. Whatever they produce is not in good quality, and some more it's not. It's not really like follow the environment now. So the manager it just simply gives one slogan like this, and then mention that we we normally the staff here, the manager he mentioned, we usually admit that we haven't do so, but okay, we seems to be in a state of constant technical paralysis. Excuse me, this is something I would like to highlight later. As an IT company, if like you tell me that you are just a very general worker, okay lah, but you are the manager somehow now. Okay, you are a manager in an IT company. In IT company, you tell people that you are technically paralysis. So indirectly, you are telling people that you are not aware with the technology improvement at all. So do you think that you can survive like this? That's why I think for this part here, I will mention about the control system. You know why? Because I think why the founder Ron, why you assign this kind of manager? You know that manager is the something like someone represent the organization. So if you are in an IT company and then you are trying to assign a point to all this kind of manager to run for the business, right? Obviously, I'm sure that after 10 years, like straight away, or maybe not even 10 years, straight away the company can shut down already. Okay, you can see this kind of attitude for the manager. And some more, you can see something. I moved into the management because of I need to earn money. This is from one of the managers some more. One of the programmer actually. So this because of money, that's why I go for it. Even though I know that salary is very important, okay, it's one of the motivation factor, but don't tell people like this, not good, sounds like not nice. Is that clear? Okay, so now move on. Continue. The next thing you can highlight. The software developer here are skeptical about their manager. For me, even like no need to talk about software developer. Even me, okay, I start to like put in my skeptical about the manager already. And then the technology, what they carry now, right, in the company, right, is years out of date. Means that it's totally outdated. And then not only poor programmer, they are poor manager some more. Okay, and then some it's like a lot of them, the employee comment, the poor manager don't know how to motivate them some more. They cannot be a good leader some more. Okay, and in the past, you can see something. In the past, Ron, the founder of this company, right, would debate responsibility for requirement changes with the customer. So in simple means that Ron attitude is like something wrong also. You know why? You can see Ron, Ron is like in case any debate. What do you mean by debate responsibility for requirement changes with the customer? In simple means that when your customer start to come and tell you that what is their requirement, they will start a debate with the customer. Do you think that this is the right way? Okay. So in simple means that your customer tell you this is something I want, but you try to debate back on like what's supposed to be. So in simple means that you never listen to your customer. Do you think that this is a way on how you deal with the customer in the year of 2020s? Is that clear? So maybe previously long time ago can but now no more already. Whatever how you deal with your customer, you know that okay, it's like two way, supposed to be two way. Is that clear? Okay, then the manager are not firm with the customer, not firm enough with the customer. So in simple means that whatever the customer mention, okay, sometimes it's like they will just blindly follow. Without anything. So that's why you can see the margin now is like also the profit margin is not good also. Okay, so you can see a lot of problem here, right? And then after that, you can highlight the last part. The last part here, you can see manager not even the manager not even have any of the up-to-date mobile phone. Maybe you tell me, is the mobile phone up-to-date important? Maybe for you and me, it's not important. But for a manager in working in IT firm, Okay, it's just like for a manager working in IT firm, they don't know how to appreciate technology. Everyone is like follow Windows 10 now. Okay, but I mean, for example, follow Windows 10 now. Okay, but can you imagine the IT company, they are still follow back the old window? Can you imagine? Okay, so that's why I think this is something so-called like for me, this is a kind of symbol I can explain later. Okay, but I like working here. The manager mentioned I like working here. What happened? We have a good social scenes after working long hour. Again, can you see I think this one I will put under the rituals and routines. I think this is not a good, I know that after working hours, suppose we need to have a very good social party or social so-called gathering, but it's not always lah. Okay, why? Because now it's like even like those female employee cannot stand for you anymore. Is that clear? Okay, so that's why this is something you can bring out later. Okay, so now I'm done with my part. I explained to you on which part is important already. So I can see a lot of points you can bring out here. But anyway, I just need 4. I need 4 from 4. I will call you later, and then you need to give me 4. So I hope that you follow. Not really like follow the sequence, but you can go for like, let's say you tell me that what I see is the first thing, routine, the routine and riches. So you bring out to me on which part you want to carry out. Okay, you have to tell me why this routine and ritual make the company failure. And after that, the second question, how if you prefer to do nothing now, you let the whole thing here continue, how it will affect your company future performance. Okay, so now let's start. We start from the first one, Dilish.
Hi.
Hi.
I will start with the routines and rituals.
Okay, good.
The routines of iCompute is they are expected to work for long hours and to part in social activities after work. So the social activities from this, I assume that the social activities are playing playing computer games and the social the employees are also expected means that it is kind of compulsory for them to join for the social activities like computer games, which might cause, like, computer games is more to for male staff, I assume. I think that's also I think that is also one of the reasons that a lot of female staff, they cannot handle it.
Agree.
So they leave the company. Most of them leave the company within 12 months of joining.
Okay, good. Then if this thing continue happen like this lah, what do you think?
If this continues to happen, I believe that there will be the company will be mainly males, but not female staff. Because they also don't want to join a company that that there will be the only female to join like all the activities.
Yes, agree.
And the social activities might cost, because they work very hard, means that they put in a lot of energy to work, but then after that they need to join the social activities too, means that they might not have enough rest.
Good. We talk about balance, work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So if this continue like this, like for example, what you mentioned just now, at the end of the day, you found that the whole group of the employee is like more on like male. None of them is female. Do you think that this is good?
I don't think this is good, because I think for every company it should be more balanced, and maybe the thinking of males and females are different. So they might not be able to come up with a product or something that covers everyone's needs. They might be like more for males, but
yes,
then
agree.
they didn't consider about females because they don't have female staff.
Yes, very good. So indirectly means that if this one will affect the future, how they produce for the product for the company, then means that the company future performance, imagine you cannot meet all the customer needs. Let's say, for example, now it's like the customer is more on male, then okay lah. But imagine if there's someone they need a software which is more towards like female. Remember the main product mentioned in the question is like you talk about the insurance product, remember? So if the coverage is more on male without female, then you know that you are biased already. Is that clear? So that's why in the market, people perception is anything towards male, you are okay. But anything covered for female category, you are not okay. So that's why from here, you know that your future performance will be like cut into like half already because you cannot cover up to the female category, your female customer. So indirectly means that your future company, your future performance, the profitability will be affected also, right? Am I right? Yes, very good. Very good. So this is how you discuss all. Very simple, right? That's why you look at that. I mean, normally when I read through the question, the student have very difficult. Okay, so you can see it's like whatever your friends telling me, share with me here. It's just like storytelling, and then it's just like based on what you understand from this part. So this will affect your future product. Yes, very good, very good. So if you still don't want to take any action on this, right? At the end of the day, maybe you tell me it's okay, I'm fine. Most of my worker for IT company, most of the worker is very normal. All male. But the problem is that if you just bias on male category, maybe next time when you produce a product, right, your coverage is not it's not wide enough. Then at the end of the day, you might lose for the market. So that's why remember, women's market is also important. Okay, so that's why that's why this is the generation, so-called like generation in the years of 2020 already. So it's no longer like previously. Is that clear? So women's market is also important. Is that clear? So that's why this will affect your future performance. Agree, strongly agree. Okay, so now very good. This point, I like it. Okay, so very good. If you give me this point, you explain like this to me, right? I can tell you at the end of the day, you can score with, I will give you the full marks. But you need to explain up to this level. You have to tell me the whole thing here, your storytelling. Is that clear? Okay, very good. So now, okay, let's try with the next one. Okay, next one, let's try with, we try with Michelle. Is Michelle here?
Yeah, hi, Miss.
Hi. Any point you would like to bring up?
I would like to talk about the manager, the control system about the manager can outdated the technology.
Okay, with the outdated technology. Yes, good. Good point. So what you would like to bring up?
Manager need to always track the trend of the technology so that when they want to process a new software system, will be more fulfilled to the customer requirement, and then can
so that you can understand what your customer wants, so that whatever you produce is can fit the environment today. Am I right?
Yeah.
Agree. So that's why this, because of your manager now, even like not away with the situations now, that's why for sure it's a failure for the company now. Am I right? Okay, so if these things still continue like this, so how it will affect your future performance?
Maybe future you are not the technology leader. And then
how customer will look at you?
More customer will go to your competitors.
You will lose the market.
Yeah, because they think that your product is not more attractive for them.
Yes, very good. So now it's like previously 20 years ago, you are the top 3 in the country, but now maybe you are the last 3 already. Agree with you. You can bring out something like this to your market, really. Your market will feel like, wow, your answer is really very true. Okay, now it's like you are the top 3, but it doesn't mean that you will stand forever in the top 3. Maybe now after because you know that nowadays is that previously you are the top 3, maybe you got less competition, but now it's like whatever you sell, no matter what kind of market you are in, you can see that it's like a lot of competitor already. So it means that you are in the perfect market. A lot of people fight with you, is that clear? So in order to survive, not easy, is that clear? So that's why some more you want to be the top 3 unless you really put in a lot of effort to pick up. Otherwise, you will be the last 3. Is that clear? Very good. Yes, agree with you. So this your company indirectly means that you might lose for the market, and some more your market share will be dropping. And your market share, you know that you can imagine if your market share is dropping, then what will be the consequence? Is that clear? You can be one day in future, right? If the new entrant will come in and fight with you, and then for those new entrant come in, this is something we are going to cover in chapter 2. Don't look down, don't underestimate new entrant. New entrant come in fight with you, you can easily being kicked out from the market. Okay, so if I still continue with all these kind of situations. Very good. Agree with you. So these are the things that you can bring up. Very good. Agree. Okay, now move on to the next one. Okay, 2 done already. Now move on to the next one. The next one, try with Stella. Stella.
Morning, Miss.
Morning.
I would like to try for symbol.
Okay, symbol.
The symbol is about work hard and play hard.
Work hard and play hard. Okay.
So the symbol is work hard and play hard. So the employees are all have this kind of mindset with having more in socialized, and also enjoying themselves by playing with games. And one of the reasons the company have decreased in 50% female staff leaving 12 months is probably they can't adopt with this kind of social life to entertain other colleagues as well. And probably because of the symbol and the employee have this kind of mindset, so they would not really think about the marketing side, and that is why their margins are falling. And they are not really cares about their customer opinions, as it says the managers are not firm enough with the customer.
Agree, strongly agree. Because of this kind of attitude, indirectly from the slogan, you can see that the way how they behave, the way how they handle on the things, it's like totally not serious, right? It's just like how they play for the game. But it doesn't mean that play for the game is not good. Be professional. I didn't mention anything here, but it's just like the way how they handle on people, the way how they handle for customer. So it seems like not really serious with it. So they can't really, like what Stella mentioned, is like they won't treat the marketing skill or marketing campaign as something important also. They'll treat it like playing a game also. So that's why very good. This kind of like take for granted. I call this as take for granted attitude. This kind of take for granted attitude it's not really work. I'm right. It's not really effective. Very good. So if this thing continue happen like this, what is going to be happen in future for the company? Stella?
There is the possibilities of insolvency. The company will not maintain in the top 3 in the software market, and probably will not be listed.
Yes,
So
very good. Agree. So like the consequence, the impact here will be like something like what we mentioned already. It's like you can be like easily today you are the top 3. Don't be so happy, am I right? That's why today you are top of the world. Tomorrow can be like upside down. Remember? Okay, so that's why this is something you can mention to your market. Your market feel like wow, you can really imagine. So very good. Your imagination is very good. So this will be this is how will affect the company future performance. Very good. Agree with you. Okay, and then some more is like, for example, you can see it's like because of this attitude, cause the labor turnover considered as high, right? So remember, if the labor turnover is high, at the end of the day, it's not good for the corporate image also. Your corporate image, the company reputation will be affected because of you don't want everyone in the market talking about your company. Your company is always with high labor turnover. Every year, the labor turnover rate is about 100%, 200%. You don't want this thing happen. So that's why very good. This is something you can discuss. Okay, good. Thank you, Stella. Okay, then the next one, let's try with the last one. The last one, let's try with Ivory.
Hi, Miss.
Hi.
I would like to talk about the stories.
Okay, stories.
This company, we can see it was started by one from since 20 years ago and specialized in building bespoke computer software. But now, but for nowadays, it only rests 80% are specialized in bespoke software, but the another 20% of its income already turned to the other type of product, which is the sales of software package design specifically for car insurance. So I think if it constant this type of situation, it could be like I said in previous time, it should be done from the leading situation of this technology industry. And in the other side, it also said about they are trying to outsourcing the support of this solution and the car insurance of package to others to produce. So I think this may be used of about they are losing their professional production.
Actually, I know what you're trying to bring up for me is like, because if you too rely on outsourcing, at the end of the day, what is going to be happen? Outsourcing is good. This is the one we are going to discuss soon, but it's actually in chapter 4. Okay, but again, since all of you mentioned about outsourcing these keywords, you know, outsourcing is like a lot of company will go for this way because we want to cut down the cost, we want to cut down the manpower. So sometimes we prefer to outsource the services to other people. But in this case, right, for these questions here, you can see is that they are trying to outsource the core main activity to other people. So I'm sure that if you outsource your core, if you outsource the rest of, like, for example, cleaning services, all these kind of not important, not essential services to other people, I think it's still okay. But if you outsource your main, so-called like main activity to other, so-called like other supplier, right? You need to worry something is like you can easily one day, who knows, okay, one day in future, maybe you might lost for the power in the market is because of you are outsourcing too many things. And then some more is something essential to your competitor. So at the end of the day, when people know about this part, right, okay, actually you can imagine what is going to be happen. Means that you might lose for the power in the market. So again, when we come back to this point, right, since you lost for the power in the market, at the end of the day, for sure, your performance will be affected, your company, because it's like more and more, people know about your competitor instead of you. So you will lose for the market. And some more, once your customer go to your competitor side, you know that customer won't come back again. So indirectly, you are trying to introduce your competitor to your customer instead of to you. Is that clear? So that's why, yes, very good. So these are it is another important point you can bring up to your market on because it's like the way how the thinking on the management style here is like they are a bit like what we mentioned just now. They are a bit like take for granted, and then they always like thought that, okay, it's like we want a very simple and easy life, and then some of the manager feel like very happy to work in this company, right? Not because of anything. It's because of they want, after the long working hour, they have a very good social time with like among the colleagues. So that's why at the end of the day, you can see this kind of like take for granted attitude make them feel like those essential service they want to outsource to other people. So can you imagine if you tell me like what I mentioned just now, if you tell me that you want to outsource those like not important not important activity to other people, still okay. But now if you outsource this kind of important activity to other people, then at the end of the day, what is the purpose for your company to survive? Is that clear? So that's why you can't really see the purpose why the company is still there. Is that clear? So that's why at the end of the day, your company future performance for sure will be affected because of the way how they treat your customer, the way how you treat the services you provide for your customer. So that's why all these things will affect your future performance. So very good. So these are the things that you can discuss. So definitely, some of you maybe you are going to ask me, based on the 4 points discussed by my friend just now, my classmate just now, it seems like all taken, but actually I still got a lot of points to bring out. Yes, very good. Means that you can really think of a lot. And then actually, if you refer to the model answer here, I'll give you this model answer later. This one no need to copy now as well. So normally you can see this is the way how you discuss for question 2 here. So you can discuss based on story, what you found out, and then how it will affect your future, your company future. Then symbol, blah, blah, blah. But for this case here, what I can see is like, the question did mention a lot on structure. So I cannot mention a lot on structure. So for this case here, I didn't mention on structure. And some more in this case study, I can't see anything related to power. So I didn't mention anything on power. So that's why story is one, symbol is one. And after that, the next one is on the routines and the riches. And the last one is control system. So for this question here, you just need to bring out the 4, then will be sufficient already. Because I can't really see power and structure, so I won't mention about these 2. So I will just come out this 4, then after that, I will come out the conclusion already. You can see the conclusion I put it here. So this is the way how you answer the questions. Okay, so no worry, this one I will send to all of you later, and then you can just refer to the answer.